Hi guys, Alistair Taylor here, and today we're going to test the new TaylorMade M2 against the Nike Vaporfly Pro driver. Now, I've already tested M1 against the Flex 440, and for me, they're both kind of very top-end, ultra-tunable, where you can really tweak the driver to get the spin as low as possible. But both of these are adjustable in the neck, so you can alter loft and club face position, but then there's nothing else that you can maneuver on these. So we're going to hit 6 shots with the Nike, 6 shots with the M2, give you some feedback, and then see who comes out on top. So I have done separate review videos on both drivers, so I'm not going to get too much into the technical stuff with either of these. Now these are both set at 9.5 stiff shaft, so both set well for me. So I'd expect launch conditions to be good for me with both of these. Interested just to see, the more and more of these reviews I do, though, kind of the closer and closer that the drivers seem to be in performance. So the Fly Pro, first of all. Feels nice and quick off the face. A little bit right to left. Now, this is the driver that obviously Rory's had a lot of input into for this year. And between the 3 drivers Nike have released, there's been a bit of a split between the Fly and the Fly Pro. Not seen too many of the guys with Flex in the bag just yet, but I know it's a little bit later coming out than the first 2 drivers. That's really solid again, normal little shape. So, I mean, for me, we're using SkyTrack, so it's closed data, real balls. Generally speaking for me, with SkyTrack, we're seeing round about 250 yards carry, round about 280 to 285 total. So I'll be interested to see if we see much different with either of these. When I actually tested the Fly Pro, though, I actually did that on Flight Scope. So we might see slightly different numbers with closed data. Again, just absolutely ripped it, little draw. So last 3. Now, like I said, I have already tested Flex 440 against M1. So if you haven't already watched that video, get yourselves across either now, stop this one and watch that, and then come back to this and see which of those maybe you prefer out of the 2. A little bit towards the toe, so a bit more shape on that. And last couple with the Nike. Now I would stress it's still very, very cold in Blackpool. So even though the data's closed, I'm still exposed to the cold weather, so probably not going to be swinging quite as quickly this time of year as I might be in the summer. But last couple. Again, very solid, little draw. And let's go one final one. Before you get excited and we look at numbers though, I don't think you're going to be seeing Rory McIlroy's numbers with this driver. Again, nice and solid. And I'd take any of those. I mean, I'm aiming kind of pretty straight, so the ball's going to turn over a touch from there. So on the numbers, it might show that I'm kind of left of centre of the fairway. So we're going to switch over, hit 6 shots with M2 before we look at the numbers on SkyTrack. Okay guys, so we move on to M2. And when I did my review video for this, I was considering it's not as adjustable and for fine tuning as M1. I was very, very impressed with how this performed. But let's see how it stacks up against the Nike. Again, a really solid one to start with. Just turning over. The surprise for me with M2, more than anything, was just how similar to M1 it looked. Obviously, the difference between this and the Nike completely different in colour, shape, similar in feel for me, but everything else very, very different. That's very good. So I think nowadays when you're buying a new driver, incredibly tough to know what to buy. And I can't believe guys still buy off the shelf. You know, we still get the odd guy coming down here that just picks one up and goes from there. I mean, like I said before, you know, the numbers nowadays, once these drivers are set up in the best way possible for you, it's incredible how close the performances are. So, got 3 more. Those first 3 have been very, very solid with M2. Again, just turning over a touch. I think, to be fair, when I do these videos in the future, I probably need to aim a little bit more right to allow for my shape, because that is probably going to look like it's missing the fairway. But I'm aiming straight at my target here. If I aim right at the moment, I might take the camera out. So last couple. That's just absolutely nailed. And one final one with M2. And then we'll get to the important stuff. We'll see which one comes out on top. One final one. Let's really go for this. Yep, that's absolutely out the screws. Okay, guys, so let's look at some numbers and check out TaylorMade M2 versus Vaporfly Pro Driver. Okay, guys, so look at the numbers, half a dozen each there. And certainly, for me, it's got to be down to the cold, not swinging maybe quite as quick as I have done in some of the reviews. Therefore, if my club head speed's a little bit down, ball speed has to be slightly behind. But both of them very, very similar, kind of 101 against 103. Launching the TaylorMade one a little bit higher and spinning it a little bit less. So 250 carry against 252 compared to 277 and 280 total. So again, almost identical, but we do have a winner today. Okay guys, so we've looked at the numbers on SkyTrack, and just from distance-wise, which for me is when I'm looking for driver, I think control comes down to me, so I'm looking for what performs the best. And the one that hit it the furthest today was the Nike Vaporfly Pro Driver. Now, to be fair to M2, it did launch higher and spun less. So there is the argument that if I could get my club head speed the same with this as this would go further. But do I strike all 6 of those shots in exactly the same place on both club faces? No. I mean, some of you guys have commented on my alleged ball striking. So I think I could do the test again, and possibly this one would come out launching higher and spinning lower. But just from 6 shots with each, the Nike just came out on top. So guys, like I've said all the way through this video and on other videos, these drivers now are all made to such close tolerances by each manufacturer that they're all going to perform fantastically well for you. The key thing for you is get along, try everything, get fitted properly, see what performs best for you. So guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. Leave comments below. If you've had a chance to try some of the stuff that I've tested today, M2 or Fly Pro, let me know, see which one came out on top for you. If you don't already subscribe to the channel, hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here in the future. Stay in contact.